Good afternoon. This is K Mad for Peace, and welcome back. I have Chef CJ here, the real food dude. Chef CJ is going to share with us what a fantastic impact it is to have a healthy or healthier diet. Or for some of you that already have a healthy diet, maybe you'd like some additions to that diet. And so Chef CJ will be able to tell you what that could possibly look like. And he's also going to share with us what kinds of functions he caters, if any at all. Stay right here. Chef CJ is going to tune you in. Come on, Chef CJ, tell us all about it.
Hey, I'm Chef CJ here, better known as the real food dude. I make real food, dude. But
I like that pun right there. That's a good one.
I do. I mean, a lot of people, they eat a lot of different stuff these days, and as we get older, you can't eat like you used to when you were 20 years old. So, you see a lot of plates, you see a lot of restaurants, you see a lot of food on the plates, and that is leading to health issues for everybody concerned, especially in our community. Mm-hmm. So a lot of fried foods, a lot of over-processed foods that we're eating all the time will lead you to have health issues that you can pretty much bypass if you just eat properly, and you have to understand what's going on with your body. So when you know what's going on with your body, you can incorporate different herbs, different spices in your body. You don't have to change the way you eat every day. You just have to watch what you're eating. So even the stuff that they have in the stores, in your regular grocery stores, you have to look at the ingredients. Things are so over processed, and everything's about money, and some brands that we grew up with have started selling them off. The parents are gone, and so the kids don't want it, so they sell it off for a gazillion dollars. Mm-hmm. As they do these things, when the other people get it, that's theirs. Mm-hmm. So the IP about it is theirs as well, and they can change the recipe to stretch the actual ingredients in it. As they do this, they add other stuff that's not food. Mm-hmm. So you eat real food, and you eating to live. Mm-hmm. You eat your food. I eat my food like my food is my medicine. Mm-hmm. So if you and I eat like once a day, mm-hmm. one good meal. Mm-hmm. So if I eat one good meal a day, it's after 12:30 and before 7 p.m. So I eat a meal in between there, and it's really when I get hungry. Mm-hmm. If I have to eat anything, when you sleep, you wake up. If you have to eat anything that's breaking the fast, mm-hmm. it's citrus fruits. So it's grapefruits, oranges, mm-hmm. and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'll eat. But you eat fruit in the morning, and the fruit is going to, flush out the impurities in your body and stuff. You eat a nice meal in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. Now, the way people are eating now, everybody eats lots of meat. Mm-hmm. and lots of processed stuff, and that's what's killing us. Mm-hmm. That's what's killing us every day, even the bread.
So I'd like to add to you, and I know earlier you mentioned bread. We're going to get right back to that bread. When you were talking about the mold, describing it to me, and the difference in the weight and the grains of bread.
Sure. Which
I don't ever pay attention to. I just like, okay, I like that kind of bread. This is the sandwich cut, and I'll take that, and it's a little moist, and I don't,
right.
have to worry about it being so excessively dry. But I like wheat as well.
Sure.
But then I have family members that cannot eat wheat, so I have to make a choice. Sure. And even when I found that I've had to, because we have a celiac disease in the family, then there are certain breads, period, we can't eat. And then that stuff that they make that's supposed to be for the celiac diet,
right.
It just feels like a brick. Like you can pick it up, drop it on the grocery store floor, and it sounds just like a brick. It's hard as a rock, but right. They want like $8 for the loaf of bread.
Absolutely.
That might be this small.
Sure.
And so if that's what bread looks like, I don't know, back in the Jesus days when they could, take a loaf of bread and just rip it. I don't know if that's the same or not, but
sort of.
It's just, it almost feels like you can't eat it. But let me go back to what I was going to drive a point about. and I had some health issues in 2002 where I had to change my diet intentionally in order for my lungs not to be filled with fluid and then the other organs to be able to operate without stress.
Sure.
And so I had to think about, let me see, what do I want to eat that's going to benefit my body but taste good because I can't have the salt. And that's when I got into more gardening.
Sure.
And I gardened, and I thought, well, this season that we're in and then this area we're in, you can't always throw something in the ground outside. You have to come inside, maybe plant some herbs, different variety. And so I kind of tested myself, and I wasn't really good at it. So I just found somewhere to go buy herbs.
Right.
And I couldn't get them in the abundance that I like because I love sage and basil and thyme. I discovered these things that I just never really noticed before but taste absolutely good. Flaxseed with nuts and different snacks that I was taking in that had no sodium but that I enjoy. So what I started doing was visiting the farm.
Sure.
And it was, hey, cut what you want. And I noticed they were growing spearmint. They were growing this other herb called yarrow.
Sure.
And what I said, let me go and look this up. And so what I discovered was yarrow was used during the war for wounded soldiers.
Sure.
But it's also beneficial for your skin. So all these things I started learning, and then I started to tell myself, okay, how can I put this in a meal where the family will eat it without saying, ugh, I don't want that. Why you got to eat like that? But to my surprise, they're like, Mom, we love it. We want to eat like you. That's a heart smart diet. And that started to get myself with my cravings for carbs under control and the like. So what I'm asking you is how, if anything, can I improve on that? And you as a chef, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to tell me some ins and outs and some tricks that maybe that I haven't even thought of, and maybe some things I haven't used before that could make for good tasty soups and meals.
Do you have a garden at home yet?
Well, let me just say this. I'm growing in the springtime. What comes up is this particular kind of garlic. Okay. And it has this little furry little ball on it. You ever seen?
It's Jerusalem artichoke looking thing, and it's like a furry purple.
Yeah, at the top, and it's real tall.
Right.
Well, I took a piece of that last year, and not this last year, but the year before that, and I put one piece in the ground, and it just exploded into a nice bundle. So it'll be back this spring. That's why I can't wait till spring come.
Me too.
And I just took some seeds and threw it out in the yard, and I started growing squash, and stuff like that.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So that is where I'm at now. But I'm finding that everybody's gradually coming over to the other side and liking that because it's lighter. We don't feel all heavy in the summertime. Every now and then, we still want,
Right. So you've heard of alkaline diets, and that's a diet that's going to feed your inner cells. All right. So you have an alkaline diet. That means you have to eat alkaline foods. So as you eat the food that you eat, you have issues. There's certain herbs and spices that you would incorporate in your meals. There's certain plants and vegetables that we just kind of overlook, or they throw this part away and stuff like that. Like the broccoli stems, it's cruciferous fruit, cruciferous vegetable. Broccoli and cauliflower and stuff like that. It's really, a bunch of texture, but the root of it, most of the vitamins in there, people throw that away.
But you know what I found about that? Just what you've mentioned is taking that same root and putting it in a blender and breaking it all the way down and making and
Other
using the
stuff.
tops for soup.
Right.
And it's really good, and it's like it feels like it's more energetic when it's entering your body. And I like broccoli with lemon and butter because that's how my mother used to cook it when I was little, because I love it like that. But I, like I said, I'm gradually looking for newer things so that we take in less. And what I also found is that we have less of a taste for a bunch of junk.
Yes.
Because it's also, like you said, it's feeding the cells, but it not only feeds the cells. I look at the way you described it, but the other added to what you said is taste. So if I know I'm craving something, then I ask myself, what am I missing in my vitamin area? What am I missing in my mineral area?
Most of the time when you're craving things, it's really because you have a parasite. And you have a parasite, so you have to eliminate the parasites. Stuff like cloves and the seeds, those black seeds that's in papaya, don't throw those out. Eat a spoonful, put it in a bag, put it in the refrigerator, eat a spoonful, eat that until that's done. And you are it'll eliminate it in your waste. And cloves, that cleans your blood and eliminates parasites too. And you gotta have stuff like burdock root. Burdock root, you can get that from the Asian markets. So you gotta stop going to where you normally go to eat, because in the American diet, it's all about money. So they're making stuff to make it faster, make it sweeter. Everything we have to be sweet. That's why. Did you see they just changed the food pyramid?
And
the pyramid was like this when we grew up,
right in school.
They flipped it over, and then they said the American diet, you should only have added 2 tablespoons of sugar, regular sugar.
Which that's not gonna happen.
Here's the thing with that. How they made the pyramid this way now. You need your fruits and vegetables and your proteins and blah blah. That's fine. Now they flipped it upside down. Why they say you only need 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons now? It's because everything has sugar in it. When you go to the store and you look at the ingredients, if the ingredients is more than 5, you have to question what you're eating. And if you question what you're eating, if you can't pronounce that word, stop eating that. Go and look down the aisle, and there's something else with 1, 2, or 3, or 4, no more than 5 ingredients on it. It might cost you a little bit more, but it'd be better for you. If you don't like to do that, make your own.
And you know what I say to that, Chef? When you just said make your own, a lot of times when I'm reading the ingredients, just like I used to have to read, like it would like one day it just took me 3 hours to go shopping for like about 6 things.
Sure.
Because I had to read everything to make sure it didn't have high fructose corn syrup,
right?
And it had and a lot of stuff has corn syrup in it. And I'm like, man, everything. I just couldn't believe it's like the canned goods, the bags of stuff, and sometimes even the processed and non-processed things. Even if you get it fresh, and it's like, okay, so we gonna be starving. Let me go in here and see what else I can get. And I end up putting things back.
Sure.
And then I noticed when I started doing that, the budget did go up. Yeah. But my mind thought, you are not buying cancer.
That's it.
And so
because you're eating to live.
Right. And so when I looked at the processed meat, which sometimes, every blue moon we have it, but I looked at the package and that is the same thing. The carcinogens that are in it cause the cancer. Exactly. So as I started researching the people who are doing the making and the processing and where they're getting it from, I started looking at the nuts. And when I started looking at nuts, Charles and I were looking at a documentary about honey in Canada, because I kept trying to find this royal jelly. I could not find this royal honey for nothing. I'm like, what is going on with the honey? I can't find real honey. So I pulled one of the jars off the shelf and I said, let me look at this honey and see what the problem is. And what I saw was it said blended. And I'm like, man, we can't even get real honey now. No. And then when I found the real honey, it was almost $40
exactly
for the jar.
If you want real anything, it's going to cost you. Okay? So even if you got maple syrup ain't bad for you if you got it from the maple tree. So you got to go to the farmer's market. When you go to a farmer's market, start talking to those people. And so like you said, you threw some stuff in your garden, right? It's a lot of stuff that's going to grow up around your house that you don't even know what it is, but you might put the lawn fertilizer on it.
No, I don't put that. I don't. Well, let me tell you something. I used to use Sevens years ago.
Right.
I even stopped doing that. I said, you know what? If all this grass and all these dandelions are growing in here naturally without us doing anything to it, I don't need to add anything to the garden items. You go. I just add water.
That's it.
And that's all I do. So, and then yank it on up, and I take it in the kitchen, rinse it off, chop it on up, and put it in the food. And it makes it tastes much fresher. It just tastes like you just went to the country, you got it where it originated from. Some of this stuff does not naturally grow here. We already know that. And some of it's shipped in, and then they grow it, and then they sell it to us. If we go in Myers, you'll see it all the way down the line, all kinds of different herbs that are sitting there. So like dandelion greens, I started getting those and sauteing them for liver cleansing.
That's it.
You know, I just
But
started thinking about those items.
That's outside, free. Everything.
But now, wait, it might be free.
Yeah.
But I see Kim lawn spraying, so I don't touch it.
Right.
On the lawn. So I wouldn't eat those dandelions.
If you got it in your space where your house is, you control your house. Control your house. All you need is your space. Your space has enough for you and your family. And it's a lot of stuff that's growing that you might say it's a weed, but it actually has health benefits to it. And from these different thistles and comfrey teas and a lot of little plants. Are you familiar with Coleman's Market?
I stopped by there and asked them for some speckled beans, and it won't be in season until next September.
Right.
So yeah, I've been over there.
So Coleman's, there's one down by what's that, Sam's Club, and then there's one off Ridge Road. There's a lady in there, Karen.
Hey, another Karen. How about that?
Good lady, but she's the plant doctor.
Okay.
She used to fix that garden over by the downtown library.
Oh, okay.
Till they told her to stop. But all the weeds around your house, before you start pulling them up and stuff, take pictures of them or pull them up and take them to her. Or take a picture of it. You can find it on the internet now. Because the internet, you have it where you can take a picture and they will identify the plant. And then it will tell you its nutritional value and is this something that's edible or not. A lot of stuff we throw away and disregard because it's not, quote unquote, the regular food that we're normally eating. You can get free food everywhere if you know what you're doing. And so a lot of that stuff in the spring, great for salads, great for herbs. You can pull this up.
And it tastes fantastic.
And it tastes fantastic.
And you can make your own dressing.
You can make your own dressing. And dressing is just a bunch of herbs and some oil.
Yep.
And some juice if you want to have juice.
So squirt of lemon.
Whatever juice, orange juice, lemons, limes, all kinds of stuff. And you squeeze it in there. I made some salmon for a lady today, earlier. And I made it with the blood orange. I had some blood oranges.
Oh, shut up. That sounds good.
Yeah, and you know, it's a citrus salmon, and I did the herbs on there and the Cajun spice and fried it down. And after that comes out.
Thank you for making us hungry, but don't stop. Keep going.
I'll make you some next time.
Look. Go ahead, finish telling us.
But it's like, you know, it's a lot of stuff that's around you that we disregard because we are so used to eating American food and everything has to be sweet. And that's not the case. If you eat more than a pound of food, I watch stuff and you watch TikTok and you watch YouTube and you see all these plates of food, fabulous. No problem with that. You're not 20 no more. So and you go to the doctor and you got all these health issues. And you know what it is? It's you ate too much food. You ate too much food too often, and you haven't let your body heal from it. You know, so that's why I
let
eat
the body
one meal.
eliminate it.
It's got to eliminate it. It's got to go somewhere. So when you eat, it's supposed to be for your energy. All right. So you're not eating to live. I mean, you're not just eating just because you're hungry.
Yeah.
You know,
don't
you
live to live.
Eat to live, right? And so you have to let it digest in your body and thoroughly digest. That's why you have a long fast. That's why it's one meal a day. You won't starve. Drink some water, eat some fruit. You need a snack, eat some fruit, eat some nuts. All natural stuff. All your fruit should have seeds. As we are in America now,
And you know,
nothing has seeds.
I'm talking about that right now. And I never paid any attention to it.
You know that's going to be access. It's access more than anything else. Psychological gain. So is this access? If everything has no seeds, I don't want a watermelon that has no seeds.
Right.
That's not real. That's science.
And you know, our parents used to tell us when we was little, Don't eat that rind. Stop eating that watermelon down to that rind. But that watermelon was good, and we be eating that rind.
The rind it's got good. It's got good
all
stuff.
the vitamins, just like you said.
Right. So you disregard those things and stop. Eat like your great grandparents did.
Because we saw them live to be 100, 102, 110.
And still work. And their knees didn't hurt.
Right.
Their knees
that
didn't
inflammation.
Hurt. Yeah. That's what dis-ease is inflammation. It's pus in your body.
Yep.
So every disease it is, no matter what it is, look it up. Don't take my advice for it. Look it up. Do your own research.
So let me just tell y'all this. We're not doctors.
No.
We just want to see you live longer so we all can get together and break bread.
That's it.
And have fun. Enjoy our life.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you, Chef, what are some of your main dishes that you just love preparing for your clients, or just because you're entertaining?
Well, like I said, we could talk about food all day. That's just like asking a mechanic, what car do you like to work on? Well, I'll take that back, because some guys like to work on hot rods. Or that's like a beautician. It's like, what kind of hair do you like to work with? Some people like to braid. And it's all food to me. So right now, the vegan and vegetarian stuff, just experimenting with certain things, that's been interesting. And you can find some interesting ways to do that, so I can eliminate eating so much meat and having so much meat in your diet because it weighs heavy on you.
It does.
So eat less meat, more vegetables, and the more ways you can play with the vegetables and figure out how to manipulate this and manipulate that and make a different sauce. And you're using pasta, you can use zucchini, you can use spaghetti squash, you can use vegetables.
Oh, I tried the spaghetti squash, and some of the household liked it, some didn't. But for me, it was different, and I just told myself, just get used to that, and that way you don't have to have the other pasta that kind of leaves the weight lingering, if you will. Because I had to cut back on starch when I was young, because I love bread. And so to speak to bread, tell me what you were describing about the grain and the bread that you like to serve or like to have that's better in terms of what you feel is better for your body.
At the one particular store, they have a 12 grain. It's in it's in the private selection.
So let me interrupt you for a second. When you say 12 grain, tell my audience what the grain level means, and how do they know, or how should they know to measure a grain level?
Well, it says 12 grains, and that's because they have different seeds: sesame seeds, flaxseed, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. They have all these grains on it. If you see the bread, it's normally dark and it has a bunch of seeds and stuff in it.
And that's what you mean by grain.
That's what I'm saying about grain in this particular loaf of bread. And then you see some bread, the one that close to what you were talking about, it might be called an Ezekiel bread. It's about this big. And like that, it's a small loaf, but it costs like $8. But you can make that same bread with stuff like chickpeas and cottage cheese and salt and an egg. And you mix that, and you can put sesame seed on it, or that other stuff they have, everything bagel. Those seeds, that's good on top of the bread, and it crusts.
I love seeds anyway, so to me it's not going to be a nasty thing.
You need all those things in your body anyways, but when you're getting bread, that's what it is. I don't eat so much bread. I make my own. When you're making bread, or when you're buying bread, the problem with it now is they've changed recipes, and as they've changed recipes, has all these ingredients. They've changed recipes in the last 6 months from that bread that I get that says private selection, 12 grain. They got a 7 grain, 12 grain, a whole wheat one, and different ones. But I noticed, I says, well, I need some bread. And I was looking in my refrigerator, and there's bread in the bottom. And I was like, oh, let me pull that out. And I was like, when did I get this? And I couldn't remember. Looked at the date, and I was like, dang, I had this for a while. And it was like about a month and a half or something. See, I make cornbread, or I make my bread. And it had no mold on it. And I was like, that was disturbing because everything that lives dies. And if it sits too long, it's going to do some sort of decay.
So you're wondering what their artificial ingredient in it to preserve it, the preservative.
That's those things on the list. Outside of wheat flour, salt, sugar, milk, eggs, everything outside of that is actually science. So they're preserving it to make it last longer,
so they can get their money.
But it's in your body, so
it's
not dissolving.
Okay. So, Chef, I'm glad we had a chance to get into some of this. I wish we had longer because I was going to ask about what dish you could bring to us for our part 2, because we're going to probably have to have a part 2. Audience, this is Chef CJ. He is the real food dude. If you want to find him, his number is 734-506 to go. That's 8646 734-506-8646. The real food dude 734@gmail.com if you'd like to find the chef there. And if there are any other places they can find you, Chef, would you tell our audience where they can find you and how soon they can find you?
You can find me right now actually on the school platform. That's a newer platform as opposed to YouTube or Facebook. The school platform is The Real Food Dude on the school platform.